The mysterious new girl Jason was an ordinary man living on a quiet colony planet called Terra 9. It was a peaceful place, far away from the main human worlds. People worked in farms, science labs, and factories. Life was slow and simple. Jason worked as a security technician. His job was to check cameras, fix alarms, and make sure no one broke the rules. Everything was normal. Until the night the lights went out. It was late. Jason was at his station watching the camera screens. Suddenly, all power shut down. The room went dark. Emergency lights turned on. This never happened before. Jason quickly checked the backup system and restarted the cameras. Most of them were blank, but one camera showed something strange. A girl was walking outside the lab building. She was alone. She walked slowly, like she was not afraid of the dark. For just 1 second, her skin glowed blue and then returned to normal. Jason rubbed his eyes. Maybe he was tired. Maybe it was a glitch in the screen. But something felt wrong. The next morning, Jason went to the lab building. He asked around and found out the girl was new. Her name was Lyra. She joined 2 days ago. No one knew much about her. She was quiet and polite. Some people said she was very smart. Others said she was strange. Jason met her for the first time in the cafeteria. She had silver eyes, like metal. Her voice was soft but clear. When she looked at Jason, it felt like she could read his mind. "You're the one who works in security," she said. "You like watching people?" Jason laughed nervously. "It's just my job." She smiled. "I know." After that day, Jason kept seeing her more often, sometimes in the lab, sometimes near the power station. She always walked alone. She never used her ID card like others. Doors just opened for her. Jason grew curious. Who was she? Why did she come here? Something about her was not right. Not normal. One night, Jason stayed late at work. He saw her again on the camera. She walked into a restricted area. Only top scientists could go there. Jason followed her quietly. He stayed far back so she wouldn't notice. She entered a dark room. Jason peeked from behind the wall. What he saw made his heart stop. Lyra was standing near a mirror. She looked at her hands. Then, her skin changed. It became light blue. Her fingers grew longer. Her eyes turned white. She was not human. Jason stepped back. He made a small sound by mistake. Lyra turned quickly, but Jason ran before she saw him. Back in his room, Jason could not sleep. What had he seen? Was it real? Was she an alien? Why was she here? The next day, Jason checked the lab computer system. He found a folder with her name. It had strange files, codes and symbols he didn't understand. There were DNA charts that didn't look human. One file had her image, but with blue skin. Jason felt cold. It was true. She was not human. Later that evening, Lyra came to his room. She looked calm. Jason tried to act normal, but she knew something was wrong. "You followed me," she said softly. Jason didn't answer. "You saw what I am." He nodded slowly. Lyra sat down. "I didn't want this. I came here to hide, not to cause trouble." Jason asked, "What are you?" "I'm not your enemy," she said. "My people were in a war. I escaped. I needed to disappear." Jason asked, "Why come to a human colony?" "Because humans don't ask too many questions," she replied. "And I thought I could be safe here." Jason looked at her, confused and afraid. "If someone finds out, they'll take you away. Maybe kill you." "I know," she said. "That's why I need your help." He didn't answer. He didn't know what to say. Lyra leaned forward. "I can give you something. To keep my secret safe." Jason looked at her. "I can stay close to you. I can share your bed, if that's what it takes," she said calmly. Jason was shocked. What? Why? Because I know how humans think. I need you to protect me, and I will give you what you want in return. Jason stood up. I'm not that kind of person. Lyra smiled. I hope not. But the offer is real. Jason looked at her. 1,000 questions filled his mind. What? Did she really want? Was she dangerous or just afraid? He didn't know. But one thing was clear. His life would never be the same again. The secret file, Jason couldn't forget her words. I can stay close to you. Even share your bed, if that's what it takes. No one had ever said something like that to him, especially not a strange girl who wasn't even human. For hours, her voice echoed in his head. He didn't sleep that night. He didn't even close his eyes. Instead, he stared at the ceiling, trying to understand what had just begun. By morning, one thing was clear. Jason needed answers. He didn't trust her completely. She said she was hiding from a war. But what if she was lying? What if she was here for something else? Jason returned to the lab building. He waited until most people left. Using his security access, he entered the main computer room. The room was cold and silent. Only the hum of servers filled the air. He typed Lyra's name into the system. A few files popped up: basic ID info, work records, daily logs. But Jason knew that official files were never the whole story. Hidden behind every profile was a deeper layer, a shadow folder only visible with admin access. He entered an old bypass code he once used for testing. To his surprise, it worked. A secret folder appeared. Title: Subject L17. Observation data. Jason opened it. Inside were dozens of files. Many were locked. Some were in strange symbols, letters from no known human language. He opened a video log. A man in a lab coat was talking. Subject L17 shows high-level adaptation. Skin is bioreactive. Neural scans suggest non-human patterns. DNA is unstable, possibly blended. Jason's hands began to shake. Subject L17, that's her. He clicked through more files. One showed a picture of her in a testing room. Her skin was fully blue. She was awake, looking directly into the camera. Jason's heart raced. She had been studied, watched, maybe even captured before. Was she running from humans or from something worse? As he closed the files, Jason noticed something strange. A folder titled Alternate Plan Activation. He opened it. The file was blank, except for one message. If Subject L17 is discovered, proceed with shutdown protocol. Full erasure. Jason's stomach dropped. Shut down. Did they plan to kill her? He quickly copied the folder onto a secret drive. As he turned to leave, the screen went dark. Then a voice came from behind. You weren't supposed to see that. Jason spun around. It was Lyra. She stood in the doorway, her silver eyes glowing softly. I didn't mean to spy, Jason said quickly. I needed to know the truth. Lyra didn't look angry. She walked slowly toward him. Now you know. They were watching me before I ever stepped on this planet. I escaped them. I came here to be free. Jason asked. Who are they? The humans? Or someone else? Lyra paused. They're part of your system, but they don't work for you. They work for something bigger, something hidden. They want my kind as weapons. Jason stepped back. Your kind? Are there more like you? She nodded. There were. Not many left now. That's why I'm important. That's why they'll come again. Jason asked the question burning in his mind. Why tell me all this? Why not run again? Lyra looked at him. Because I need one person to stand with me. One person who knows the truth and still chooses me. He didn't speak. He didn't know what to say. She stepped closer. You think I offered to stay with you just for protection? No, Jason. I did it because I saw something in you. You don't belong in this broken system. You question it. That's rare. Jason's thoughts were a storm. Files, secrets, her blue skin, the glowing eyes, the offer, and now, a choice. Then Lyra said something that chilled him. "They're already watching. They'll come soon. And when they do, they won't ask questions." Jason looked at the drive in his hand. It now felt like a weapon. Or a key. Lyra touched his arm. "You still have time. Delete the files. Walk away. Or stand with me. But if you choose me, there's no going back." Jason looked into her eyes. In that moment, nothing felt normal anymore. And maybe that's exactly what he wanted. Hidden powers. Jason had always believed humans were alone in the universe. He never believed in aliens, secret labs, or powers beyond science until now. He used to live a quiet life. Wake up, check cameras, drink cheap coffee, fix a few wires, go home. Now he was hiding secret files, protecting a glowing alien girl, and lying to everyone he knew. It all started with one secret, but secrets never stay quiet. The next morning, Jason woke up with a strange feeling. His body felt heavier. His mind was buzzing, like electricity was running through it. And the strangest thing, he knew Lyra was nearby, even before opening his eyes. He looked out the window. She was standing outside, still as stone, looking at the sky. Jason walked out. "Did you sleep at all?" Lyra turned her head. "I don't need to. I recharge." Jason blinked. "Recharge? I collect energy," she said, pointing up. "From light, from air, from movement. That's how I heal. That's how I survive." Jason couldn't believe what he was hearing. "You mean you don't eat?" "I can," she smiled. "But I don't have to." For a few seconds, neither of them spoke. The wind moved through her silver hair. Jason realized something. She wasn't just different. She was powerful. But how powerful? That day, they went to the outer zone of the colony, near the forest. No cameras, no people, just trees and sky. Jason asked her to show him what she could do. At first, Lyra refused. "The more I use my powers, the easier it is for them to find me." "Please," Jason said. "If I'm going to protect you, I need to know." Lyra looked at him for a long moment. Then she raised her hand. The ground around her began to shake. Small rocks floated into the air. The wind grew stronger. Jason watched, wide-eyed as her skin glowed faintly blue. Then everything stopped. Lyra opened her eyes. "That's just a taste. If I do more, they'll pick up my signal." Jason asked, "How did you get these powers?" Lyra looked down. "I was born with them. My kind. We're not like humans. Our bodies adapt. We feel the world differently. We hear thoughts. We speak without words. We survive things you cannot imagine." Jason asked, "Can you read my mind?" She smiled. "Only when you're thinking very loud." Jason laughed nervously. Then his smile faded. "Do they want you because of this?" "Yes," she said. "They want to use me, to create weapons, to copy my blood and build an army. That's what they did to others." Jason felt cold inside. "What happened to the others?" Lyra whispered. "They died." Suddenly, Jason's comm link beeped. He answered. It was a voice from command. "Security alert. Unusual energy detected near Sector 7. All guards report." Jason froze. Sector 7. That was close. "They felt it," he said. Lyra's face grew serious. "We need to leave. Now." They ran through the trees, quiet as possible. Drones flew overhead, scanning the ground. Jason held his breath as one passed over them. Lyra closed her eyes and her body melted into the shadow of the trees, almost invisible. Jason whispered, "How did you do that?" She opened her eyes. "I told you. I adapt." They stayed hidden for an hour. Finally, the drones flew away. Jason turned to her. "They won't stop, will they?" Lyra shook her head. "No. And now they know you're helping me." Jason knew what that meant. If they caught him, they'd erase everything, his job, his freedom, maybe even his life. But Jason wasn't the same man anymore. He wasn't scared. He was angry, and for the first time he realized maybe he had a power too, not like hers, but the power to choose, the power to fight back. The chase. Begin's fear didn't come all at once. It started as a small sound, barely a whisper, the low hum of engines in the sky. Then came the message. All citizens must return indoors. A security check is in progress. Jason stood frozen in the hallway. His comlink buzzed again. This time, it was from Central Command. Jason Cross, report immediately. You are needed for inspection duty. Inspection duty, that was code. It meant they're looking for someone. Jason looked at Lyra. She had just returned from the forest, her skin still faintly glowing. They're here, she said. Who? Jason asked. She walked to the window. The ones I told you about. The Black Flag team. Not from this colony. Not from this planet. Jason's heart began to race. What do we do? Lyra didn't blink. We run. Within minutes, the colony turned into a silent zone. Patrols moved in lines. Scanners checked. Every ID, the lab building was sealed. Drones flew in circles above. Jason and Lyra moved through the underground service tunnels. Few people knew about them. Jason had worked on the security systems here for years. He knew where the cameras were blind. He knew how to disappear. But the enemy was smarter. As they reached the exit tunnel near the edge of the colony, a voice echoed behind them. Halt, you are not authorized to be here. Jason turned. 3 armored men. Full black suits. No faces, just glass helmets. One pointed a scanner at Lyra. Unidentified energy source detected. Prepare containment. Jason stepped in front of her. She's with me. The soldiers didn't care. They raised their weapons and then everything exploded, not the ground, not fire, but the air itself. A wave of force pushed outward from Lyra. The soldiers were thrown across the tunnel like paper dolls. Lights shattered. Alarms blared. Jason fell to his knees, covering his ears. When he looked up, Lyra's body was glowing bright blue. Her eyes were white. The air around her crackled like a storm. Jason had never seen anything like it. She helped him up. I warned you. The more I use my power, the easier they find me. Jason nodded, breathless. Then, we better run faster. They escaped into the outer zone, dry lands beyond the colony fence. No people, no lights. Just silence. Jason's mind raced. Where do we go now? Lyra looked up. There's a place in the old forest. A place where machines don't work. No signals, no trackers. They call it the dead zone. Jason had heard rumors. Old tech graveyards, abandoned systems, strange readings no one could explain. But they had no choice. As they ran deeper into the dead zone, Jason began to cough. The air felt heavier. The wind moved in strange directions. Something about this place wasn't right. Lyra placed her hand on a broken tree. Her skin turned green for a second. Jason stared. What are you doing? Adapting, she said. This place isn't natural. It's like it remembers things. Jason didn't ask what she meant. He was too tired, too scared, too full of questions. And then Lyra said something that made his blood run cold. They didn't just come for me. They came for you too. Jason turned sharply. What? Why me? Because I merged with you. What does that mean? It means you're changing. Jason's hands began to tingle. His head felt warm. He looked at his fingers. A faint blue light ran across his skin. Betrayal and trust it didn't hurt at first. The blue light on Jason's hand was soft, almost beautiful, like stars resting on his skin. But then came the pulse. Sharp flash ran through his chest, like something inside him had been unlocked. Jason gasped. What's happening to me? Lyra looked away. I didn't mean to. I had to connect with you. It was the only way to hide. Jason stepped back. You used me? No, Lyra said quickly. I saved you. They would have killed you if you hadn't bonded with me. Bonded? Jason's voice was shaking. Am I turning into something? Not exactly, she said softly, but you're not fully human anymore. Jason stared at his glowing hand. He had helped her, lied for her, protected her, and now he wasn't even sure who he was anymore. He turned away. You should have told me. I was afraid, Lyra said. If you knew what I really was, what you're becoming, would you have still helped me? Jason didn't answer. They kept walking through the dead zone, deeper into the forest where machines failed and signals vanished. Jason's comm link sparked and went dead. Good. That meant no one could trace them. But something was wrong. Jason felt it. The silence was too deep. The shadows too still, and then he heard it. A footstep. He turned. A figure stepped out of the mist. It was Liam, Jason's old friend. One of the top security officers in the colony. Trusted. Loyal. Or so Jason thought. Jason, Liam said, raising his hands. You're hard to find. Jason stepped forward, confused. What are you doing here? How did you find us? Liam smiled slightly. You still wear that old scanner badge. I tracked the energy signature. Jason's eyes narrowed. Are you here to help or arrest me? Liam looked at Lyra. She's dangerous. You don't know what she really is. Jason replied, I know enough. She's running from something worse. Liam shook his head. No, Jason, she is the worst thing. You've seen her power. What happens when she loses control? What if she already has? Lyra stayed silent. Jason felt his heart twist. You don't understand her. I understand this, Liam said coldly. Central Command has issued a full capture order. If you bring her in, they'll erase your record, give you a clean start. You'll be safe. Jason looked at Liam, then at Lyra, his friend, or the alien girl who changed his life. Then Liam added, You're changing too. You think they won't notice? The longer you stay with her, the more human you stop being. Jason asked quietly, Is that really so bad? Liam raised his weapon. Don't make me choose. Jason moved slowly in front of Lyra. Then don't. For a moment, no one moved. Then Lyra stepped forward. I'll go, she said. Jason turned. No, she stopped him. You've already given up everything for me. I won't let you lose more. Jason looked at her glowing eyes. He saw sadness, regret, and something else, hope. But as Lyra stepped toward Liam, Jason noticed something strange. Liam tapped his wrist. A red light blinked twice. Jason's eyes widened. It was a signal. They weren't alone. Trap, Jason shouted. Lyra jumped back as drones burst through the trees. Soldiers in black armor surrounded them. Jason grabbed her hand. Run! They dashed into the thick mist. Bullets flew past. Light beams scanned the dark. Jason's body ached. The pulse inside him was growing, his vision blurred. But Lyra's voice guided him. Trust me, I know the way. They dove into a pit hidden by roots and old tech debris. Breathing hard, Jason looked at her. You were really going to give yourself up? I would have, she said. If it meant saving you. Jason whispered. Why? She touched his face. Because you believed in me, when I didn't believe in myself. The awakening, Jason dreamed of water. He was floating in a deep, dark ocean, alone, cold, weightless. Then something touched his chest. A light. Soft but strong. It didn't pull him down. It pulled him up. He gasped awake. He wasn't in the pit anymore. He was in a dark cave, lit by soft blue crystals on the walls. The air smelled like earth and metal. Strange roots crawled along the ceiling, pulsing gently like veins. Lyra sat beside him watching. You were out for 2 days, she said. Jason blinked. 2 Days? You nearly burned out, Lyra said. The energy inside you, it's waking up too fast. It's not meant for humans. Jason sat up slowly. His body felt different, heavier, but stronger. He could hear small sounds, dripping. Water shifting rocks, even Lyra's heartbeat. What's happening to me? He asked. Lyra looked serious. You're becoming something new. Not human, not alien. Something in between. Jason stared at his hands. A faint blue glow ran under his skin, pulsing like a second heartbeat. I didn't ask for this, he whispered. Lyra nodded. Neither did I. But sometimes, change chooses you. Jason stood. Where are we? A forgotten place, Lyra said. Before your people came, others lived here, very old, very advanced. This was one of their memory chambers. Jason looked at the walls. Symbols shifted across the crystals like living light. What kind of memories? He asked. Pain, she said. War, betrayal, and hope. Jason walked toward a large crystal in the center of the cave. As he touched it, images flooded his mind. Flashes of Lyra's planet, battles in the sky, falling cities, glowing beings hunted down. He saw, her alone afraid surviving. The vision ended. Jason fell back, breathing hard. You saw it? Lyra said softly. Jason nodded. They destroyed your world. She looked down. They tried to control us. When we refused, they wiped us out. Jason clenched his fists. And now they want to do it again. Through you. No, she said. Through us. Jason looked at her. What do you mean? I didn't just bond with you to hide. I bonded because your mind accepted me. That's rare, and now you carry a part of me. Jason frowned. What happens if it keeps growing? Lyra hesitated. You'll have to choose. Either reject it, or let it fully awaken. Jason asked, what if I can't control it? She looked into his eyes. Then you'll become a weapon. Jason turned away, overwhelmed. But before he could speak, the cave shook violently. Boom, boom, something was above them. They found us, Lyra said. This place is no longer hidden. Jason's glow pulsed brighter. Then let's stop hiding. Lyra touched his arm. Not yet. You're not ready. Jason stepped toward the cave entrance. I don't have time to be ready, Lyra said quietly. You'll need to awaken fully, not just the power, but the memory inside it. Jason turned. What memory? She placed her hand on his chest, and then he remembered something strange. A name, but not his own. A different voice, whispering from inside. Jason gasped. His eyes glowed. I know what they're looking for, he said. And it's not just you anymore. Lyra whispered. You've been chosen too. Final stand. The sky was no longer black. It was burning. Flames danced in the clouds as ships from above broke through the atmosphere. Their engines roared like thunder. Red lights scanned the ground. And in the distance, the colony sirens cried, like dying birds. Jason stood at the edge of the old world, staring at the new war. He wasn't the same man who once fixed wires and watched silent monitors. He wasn't just human anymore. He was something else. Behind him, Lyra touched his shoulder. They've arrived. Jason nodded. I know. They'll destroy everything to find us, she said. Your colony, your people, even the ones who never hurt me. Jason clenched his fists. Then we won't let them. They returned to the colony before sunrise, silent, hidden. Jason moved like a shadow, faster, sharper, eyes glowing softly. He could feel machines now, hear the quiet hum of power grids, sense the fear in people's footsteps. They reached the core tower, the heart of the colony. From here, the attackers were controlling the signal blockers and drones. Disable the tower, Lyra said. If we break their link, their army falls blind. Jason stepped forward. I'll do it. No, Lyra said. It's too dangerous. It could kill you. Jason turned back. So could doing nothing. Lyra stared at him. Why are you still helping me? Jason gave a sad smile. Because you never wanted to hurt anyone. But they turned you into a target. And now, they've made me one too. He walked into the tower. Everything inside buzzed with dark energy. He could feel it crawling under his skin. A voice echoed through the chamber. Cold. Robotic. Welcome. Subject 12A. Energy signature confirmed. Bond complete. Jason froze. What? The voice continued. You are the final key. The fusion worked. The test is over. Suddenly, screens around him lit up. Images of him and Lyra together, escaping, hiding, fighting. They were watching, Jason whispered. This whole time? The voice spoke again. You were never free. You were part of the plan. Jason's chest burned, but he didn't stop. He reached the main control core, placed his glowing hand on it. A shockwave ripped through the building. Outside, drones fell from the sky. Red lights blinked out. Ships began to lose balance. Lyra watched from below, eyes wide. He did it, but inside the tower, Jason collapsed. The machine screamed. The power inside him cracked. And then, silence. Lyra ran to him. His body was cold, still glowing faintly. She held him close. Jason, stay with me. His eyes opened slowly. I saw it all, he whispered. Their plan, the future they wanted, Lyra cried softly. You stopped it. Jason smiled weakly. Not alone. And then his hand touched her cheek. A final burst of light passed between them. Her body glowed brighter than ever before. She stood up, taller, stronger, filled with new power. She looked at the sky. The last of the enemy ships tried to escape. She raised her hand, a pulse shot into the clouds, and just like that, silence returned. No more war, no more sirens, only wind. Later, when the people came out of hiding, they found the colony untouched. No invaders, no destruction, just one message left on the main tower's screen. We were never the enemy. You were, just too afraid to see us. Lyra stood at the edge of the forest, watching the sun rise. Jason was gone, but not lost. He was now part of her. And maybe, part of something much bigger, a new beginning. Final stand, the light within. Jason dreamed he was standing between two skies. Above him, stars burned like fire. Below him, the earth cracked open, glowing with ancient energy. He heard two voices. One, whispering in pain, the other singing in power. He didn't know which voice was his. Then he woke up. And the world was ending. The colony sky was full of enemy ships. Red lights scanned every street. The people were locked inside. The machines had taken control. But Jason no longer felt fear. He felt fire in his veins. Lyra stood by his side. Her eyes were calm, but her hands trembled. They're going to wipe the colony, she said. They think destroying everything will end this. Jason looked down at his glowing palms. They don't understand. The power isn't a weapon, it's a memory. Lyra nodded. And you carry both now. Mine, and something older. Jason didn't fully understand it yet, but deep inside he could feel it. The awakening had changed him. His body still looked human, but inside, something ancient had been unlocked, something the enemy feared. They moved toward the central tower, where the enemy AI had rooted itself. From there, it was controlling all drones, weapons, and ships above. Jason turned to Lyra. Once I go in, there's no turning back. Lyra touched his chest. Then don't turn back, break it, all of it. Jason entered the tower alone. The halls were empty, but not silent. Voices filled the air. Not real voices, data, memories, ghosts of an old war playing again like echoes. Jason, cross, said the AI voice. Human by body, hybrid by accident. You are an error. Jason smiled faintly. Then I'm the mistake that ends you. He reached the core. A black crystal floated at the center, pulsing with dark energy. Jason stepped forward. It began to fight him. Memories slammed into his head, fear, pain, death. It tried to make him fall, but he stayed standing. He closed his eyes and remembered Lyra's first smile. The night they hid in the forest. The moment she almost gave herself up to save him. He remembered hope. That was the power they didn't understand. Jason placed both hands on the crystal. His entire body lit up. Outside, the sky turned blue for a second, brighter than any sun. The enemy ships froze, the drones fell, the system cracked. Then, silence. Lyra watched it all from the tower steps. And she knew. Jason had done it. But she also knew something else. He wouldn't come back the same. When she found him, he was still alive, but glowing like the stars in her world's sky. Jason? She whispered. He opened his eyes slowly. I'm not just me anymore. Tears slipped down her cheeks. You still are, she said. You're the reason this world has a second chance. Jason took her hand. His touch felt lighter, warmer. Like he was becoming more energy than matter. I can't stay, he said. I know, she whispered. He leaned close. But I'll always be part of you, just like you're part of me. A final flash of light. Jason's body faded, but his voice remained in her mind. Remember who we are. Days later, the colony stood free. The enemy never returned. Lyra remained silent and strong, watching the stars every night. Sometimes, when the sky was just right, a streak of blue light would pass above. She would smile softly and whisper, "He's watching."